in Missouri, and he's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Huck, good afternoon. How are you today?
Doing good, Chris, man. It's good to hear you back. I missed you. I really did.
Well, that's a good sign. The day you don't miss me is the day I got to quit, so good for you. Go ahead.
No, I'm with you on Kirk Cousins, doggy. I think he's good. I don't think he's great, and you cannot give a good player $30 million when you're under a salary cap. If you baseball and you're the Yankees, you got $200 million to spend, yeah, you can overpay for a good player. But in the NFL with a salary cap, you cannot overpay for just a good player. And I think Kirk Cousins, listen, he puts up good numbers, okay, 4,500 yards. I get all that. But that, this is a fantasy era we're in. I think it's these fantasy geeks, they see these big numbers and think, oh, he's franchise quarterback, he's great. Well, look at what he did inside the 20-yard line. And when he gets in the red zone, he's not good. He don't punch it in the end zone. They settle for way too many field goals. And I think a lot of the reason why he threw for so many yards is because they were trailing all the time in the second half. And a lot of the reason why they were trailing in every game is because they didn't score touchdowns in the first half. They settled for field goals. And that's a lot on Kirk Cousins.
Listen, he has not proven yet in his career that he is a winning playoff quarterback. He has not shown that. Now, is he better than Blair Bortles? Yeah, of course he is. And Bortles is a guy who's already won a playoff game, 2 of them. So that doesn't always the number one barometer. You can be just one of those guys that, for whatever the reason, Stafford, who's good, not great. But that is what Cousins is right now. And Jay Gruden and the Redskin franchise, after they franchise tagged him, did not believe in him to give him that huge contract and decided to go to Alex Smith in a different direction. They decided to take a quarterback who is about 14 to 15 in the league, instead of paying a quarterback who's about number 11 in the league twice the money. That's what the Redskins decided to do. They moved down 3 to 4 spots at the position to save roughly $15 million a year. We'll see if that works itself out, because it depends what they do with the extra $15 million. But I do understand what the Redskins are up to, and Cousins has not shown you that worth. And why the Jets would want to spend that kind of money on him, why would the Jets want to do this? I don't make any sense. The Jets need so much help in so many areas offensively. Why would they want to spend $30 million on a quarterback? They're that desperate? I don't get that. I really don't.
No, I don't make a whole lot of sense to me. And as far as the Redskins are concerned, I think that made them a better team. Now, if they spend that $15 million they saved wisely, which they may or may not, it's the Redskins, we don't know, it makes them a better team. Do I think Kirk Cousins is a little better than Alex Smith? Sure.
He is,
but I do think that the team is better off if they use that $15 million and get them a couple of decent players.
No, hit him on the head. And that's what the Redskins have decided. That's what they have told you. The Redskins have said that Alex Smith plus this and that is better than Kirk Cousins. That's what they have told you. Now, the quarterback's the most important position. And it's not like the Redskins have a tremendous track record here. They haven't won in a long time. Snyder and right on down. But I think Gruden's a pretty good coach. I think he's a good offensive guy, good bloodlines and everything else. I trust him. So I think they did the right thing. Rob in Chicago, he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Rob, good afternoon. How are you today?
Hi, Doggy. I'm good. First-time caller. I love your show. It's good to have you back.
Good to have you aboard there, Robert. Let me hear now. Fire away for me. What do you have for me?
Okay, well, I totally agree with you on, picking Barkley at number 1, because he is the best player in the draft, in my opinion, as well. The Browns, they've screwed up so many drafts here in the recent years, but I think Sashi Brown actually had, he had actually got a lot of good picks for us and drafted well in the last couple years. But my question is, after taking Barkley at 1, which I think they should do, would it be better for them to get a quarterback through free agency or in the draft?
Well, I think maybe they might do both, Rob. I think the Browns might sign McCarron and then draft a quarterback, trade down a little bit from 4 or whatever they might do, and then draft one of these quarterbacks later on. Now, it all depends on what they think of the 4 guys or 5 guys that they've just seen. We have to see what Dorsey thinks, and it's a position that they must get correct. This is a year that the Browns have to win at this position. There's too many guys out there that are decent, and the Browns with the number 1 and number 4 pick, they cannot get this wrong. So we'll see if they do it, but that's, I think, what the Browns might end up doing. Chad is in Columbus, and he's aboard. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Chad, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have for me?
I guess got two quick things for you. One, I kind of disagree with Alex Smith, like, going over to Washington and being, like, some sort of savior or anything. I still see Washington being, like, third or fourth in their division.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with that, but they were third or fourth in their division with Cousins. My point is, how much better?
It's not an upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, how much of an upgrade how much of a downgrade do you get with Smith? Is it a huge downgrade or a little downgrade?
I'd say pretty big, because Alex Smith had a lot of weapons over there in Kansas City, and he had a pretty good coach, and he doesn't have that anymore. He doesn't have that premier new face running back who's killing it in the league. He doesn't have that Tyreek Hill. He doesn't have Kelsey anymore. Jordan Reed can't stay healthy. Doxson's hit and miss. Terrell Pryor is a complete disaster over there, and he's probably going to be gone anyway. But I just don't see it. We'll see. I just don't.
Listen, that's fair. I mean, let's not make the Chiefs out to be the greatest offensive team in the world. I mean, they don't have that secondary receiver. They lost Hill. They lost Kelsey in the playoff game, and they collapsed. And obviously, the running back kind of fell apart there. He had a good playoff game, but he kind of fell apart middle of the year. All right, Johnny Miller is in a sec. We got to break down Phil Mickelson this weekend, which I thought was the bigger story by far of the weekend. I will do that with Johnny Miller in a sec. Let's first talk to Stevie. We'll get him in the mix at 5:30. He's got a sports bite. His Iona team, by the way, plays tonight at 7 o'clock, so we root for Fairfield.
Fairfield's going to win, I think.
Yeah.
I really do. Honestly, I think they're going to.
You know, the best player on Iona, he's a FCAC player.
Yeah, Casimir, right?
He's an FCAC player. Here's that's New Canaan's league. Here is the update with Mr. Torrey here on Mad Dog Unleashed.